All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is May 11th. We have a smaller than usual MLB slate today. We only have 6 games to jump into, but nonetheless, we're going to jump into each and every one of these games. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the game. I'll give you my lean or leans on the games, but all my final plays that I'm actually going to be rolling with, what counts towards our record, that will be in the pinned comment, and I update that throughout the day as we lock in our plays, guys. So make sure to keep an eye on that pinned comment. In terms of last night, we go 4-1 with a nice little parlay, cha-ching cash. We had the Dodgers money line, they win 8-1. We had the Cubs money line, they come back and win from behind. Then we had Eduardo Rodriguez under 5.5 hits allowed. I rarely put player props in these YouTube plays or YouTube videos. We save those for Instagram as well as TikTok when we're doing our prize picks or thrives or no hustle advantage or jock market, underdog plays, that type of thing, right? But I felt so strongly about this one. Eduardo looked good against the Guardians just a couple weeks ago. He's getting a start against them today. That ultimately cashes. And then we had the Rockies, Tigers, Rangers, all plus 2.5 parlay, which we might start mixing in a little bit more. I like taking an extra run on the run line, right? So an alternate run line there, and that cashes for plus 150 over on DraftKings. And you know what? I was like, I can't get any better than this, right? Wrong. We hit our ride of the day as well. Lorenzo came in clutch, pumping some damn crowd noise for the dude. Comes in clutch with Dodgers team total over 4. Yeah, I think they had a team total over 4. They scored 8 runs, so they doubled their line there, guys. So we had a really, really good day. If you don't know what the ride of the day is, all you got to use is hashtag ride of the day in the comments, and I'll be jumping on board with one person's play in the comments. I like, a team total or a player prop or a first 5, something that we don't necessarily cover in the video. So if you have something like that, throw out a hashtag ride of the day in the comments, hashtag ride of the day, and I'll be jumping on board with one person's play in the comments, and then we give you guys a shout out, win or loss, in the next video. I think we've hit 3 in a row now, so the pressure's on, guys. No one wants to face the womp womp if you do catch the L there. But yeah, hashtag ride of the day in the comments. Let's go ahead and jump into this slate, guys. But before we do that, come on, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, guys. Coming off a really, really good night. We've been positive, bouncing back and forth, but it helps to have a big night like that with a nice little parlay cash. And the ride of the day cashes. Other than the Rays, the stars kind of aligned for us yesterday, guys. But go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And our first game we're looking into is going to be Cincinnati taking on the Mets. So yesterday's game results in a 2-1 victory for the Mets. Verlander started for them yesterday. Senga's on the mound for the Mets today. He's 4-1 with a 3.38 ERA. Derek Law on the mound for the Reds. He's got a 3 flat ERA with a 2-3 record right now. I do think that this is a spot for the Mets. That being said, the odds aren't all that great. You're getting about minus 195 to minus 200 over on DraftKings, and I really wouldn't consider the Mets on the run line. I told you guys yesterday, I think the Mets can win this game, but I don't like them on the run line. They go out there and win 2-1, so that was just a lean, but it was predicted correctly. I also don't like them again today on the run line. In fact, when they are favorites on the run line, they've only covered that 1 game of their last 10, and they haven't in 8 straight games. So I do think that this is a good spot for Cincinnati on the run line. I don't totally love it, but you are getting plus money for Cincinnati plus 1.5. So though I think the Mets win this game and they're the better team right now, and maybe they're starting to show a little gusto, I think that the odds and the actual value play here is going to be Cincinnati plus 1.5. And then we're looking at the total. Game 1 of the series was 7-6, and Cincinnati kind of controls that. So if Cincinnati's going to keep this game close, I wouldn't be surprised if we get, a decently high-scoring game here. But 10 runs is the line right now. I think that's just a little bit too high. So I'm hesitant to pull the trigger on any sort of an over related to that. So I am going to stick to my gut here and look at the under in this game. So I like Cincinnati on the run line as well as the under 10 runs. All right, next game, we have the Twins taking on the Padres. I wish I stuck to my guns yesterday. The Twins take that one 4-3 in yesterday's game. Game 1 of the series, 6-1 was won by the Padres. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres today. He's 2-2 with a 3.19 ERA. Bailey Ober on the mound for the Twins, 2-0 with a .98 ERA, a sub-1 ERA. I like the odds here. You're getting the Twins at plus money at home in Game 3 of this series. Can the Padres win this? Sure. They're kind of turning a corner here. They've won 6 of their last last 10 games. I get it, but I do think this Twins team is very sneaky good. They've kind of tailed off in the last, 2 series, so people are kind of forgetting about how good they were just about a month ago, or I guess we could even say 3 weeks ago or so, right? This Padres team, if you're on the Padres today and you're thinking that and you're coming to this video for validation and I'm saying the Twins, don't take that, don't take that against your original pick. I could totally see the Padres winning this game, but I do think the Twins can obviously compete. I like the pitcher on the mound, and plus 105 odds here on the money line I really do like as well. So again, if you are on the Padres, I would say, okay, you know what? May the best man win. Agree to disagree. This isn't one that I feel the Padres are going to get smoked or the Twins are a way better team. I will say there could be some value on the Twins run line as well at around minus 150. I don't think the juice is there necessarily. That's a little bit too much, but I like the Twins for plus money here on the off chance, or a decent chance I think they have at winning this game. And then we have a total of 8 runs. I see this one going under. We've seen a 6-1 game and a 4-3 game, so they're really hovering right around there. But last game was a little bit more like I think that these games will go, at least from an offensive perspective. Obviously, we have different pitchers on the mound here, but sort of like a I guess like a 5-2 or a 4-3 type ball game where both offenses do put up at least a couple of runs, not like game 1 where it was a 6-1 and a very lopsided affair, but I don't think it broaches that 9-run mark. I will say I like the Twins, even with the plus money, as they play a lot more than I do the total in this game. All right, Kansas City taking on the White Sox here. Kansas City minus 110. Odds have moved and shifted, minus 115 more or less here at home as a slight favorite here. Their run line actually is plus 170 right now on the minus 1.5, and it's almost tempting because we have seen this Kansas City team now take 2 games in, I would say, dominant fashion out of the 3 thus far against this White Sox team. So 12-5 in game 1. Yesterday, game 3, Kansas City wins 9-1. So call me crazy, but there is some value over on Kansas City, who have covered their minus 1.5 in 3 of their last 4 where they were favored. But for plus 170, I could see that. That being said, that would almost be sort of a long shot in the dark type of a play. I do think that this one is more or less a game in which the series is split. Singer on the mound for the Royals, he is nothing. And then Clevenger on the mound for the White Sox, at least a little bit better than Singer, I would say, definitely this year. So I'm going to lean towards the White Sox, using my brain rather than my eyes that see that plus 170 on a team that's covered this line recently a lot. I can't do that. I got to bet smart, but got to bet analytically, and I'm going to be looking at the White Sox here on the money line. To be honest, I don't think either of these plays or anything in this game becomes a final play. The only thing that could would be the under, but I'm a little hesitant to pull the trigger on the under because we've seen a couple really high-scoring games, and at least Kansas City's put up 12 runs and 9 runs already within this series. So I think this game's probably just to chalk it away, not put too much time or effort or investment into, but nonetheless, I do lean White Sox on the money line. I lean towards the under. And then I don't know, something about that Kansas City minus 1.5 looks like it could have some serious value. And guys, before we do get to the next game, I want to talk to you a little bit about Jock Market. I've been talking to you guys about Jock Market in videos as of late, and that's because I've been seriously enjoying the app, and I do want you guys to have the same enjoyment that I have. So Jock Market is a great place to, one, play with player props. You guys can put 2 or more players together, and based on how many you get correct out of that, so if you go 2 for 3, you profit about 1.5 times, that type of thing. You get their projections. You just say more or less, just like you would on Prize Picks or any of these other probably bigger name apps. I think Jock Market stands right there with some of these top name apps in the player prop DFS market here. So definitely check it out for that reason. But they also have player stock markets here, which I think is really, really cool. You can buy and sell shares of players pre-game, during the game, and by the end of the game, you guys are going to be ranked based on your virtual wallet of what you did within that sort of contest there. And if you pick a pitcher like Senga today and you buy him for low and all of a sudden he kills it, then you sell him for high at the end of the games and whatnot, you guys could be walking away with some real money. So a lot of free to enter contests over there as well. You enter for free. They give everyone the same amount of virtual coin money to buy players and their shares and whatnot, and then you can win some real money at the end of it. Guys, go check out Jock Market, even if not just for the player props playing. It's called the Pick'em version of their app. I definitely think that is worth it. You can use the link in the description or the pinned comment. That's going to match your first deposit 100%. You put in $100, they're going to give you 100 free bucks. You'll get $200 to play with. You put in 25 bucks, they're going to give you 25 bucks. You'll have 50 to play with. It's a pretty damn good deal. So make sure to go check that out. All right, let's keep going here. Tampa Bay taking on the Yankees here. The Yankees coming off of a sweep in their last series. Now it was Oakland. Prior to that, the series before, these two teams actually played, and Tampa Bay won 2 of the 3. But Tampa Bay's coming off of losing 2 of 3 against the Baltimore Orioles here. The only one that they won is when they had Shane McClanahan on the mound. Like they do have, and now they do have Drew Rasmussen on the mound. He's 3-2 with a 3.11 ERA. Domingo Germán on the mound for the Yankees, who you guys know I don't really like. He's proved us wrong at least once this season, but I really don't like Germán here. He's 2-2 with a 4.35 ERA. You got some good odds on Tampa Bay on the money line, and I think I'm going to pull the trigger at minus 125 over on FanDuel. I get it, new city, they traveled here, but I do think those odds are good. Now, I will say this transparently, right? I said 2 games in a row against Baltimore at minus 127 and minus 110, and I said when the odds are this good for Tampa Bay, you cannot pass that up. What'd they do? They lost both those games. So it's not all about just backing a really good team. But that being said, I can't see Tampa Bay losing 3 games in a row, especially against a Yankees team that, okay, I get it. They won those 3 games against Oakland. They kind of like ran away with each of those games. Like they dominated Oakland. But I think that I could dominate Oakland throwing lefty. Like, look at this. Perfect throwing form righty, right? Even my lefty form isn't that bad, but I could strike out everybody and their grandmother on that Oakland side of things. So I don't give too much credit to the Yankees. Now, it's going to help them record-wise and sort of momentum-wise, but let's not forget that they are and were struggling. So I'm going to look at this Tampa Bay team and say, okay, forget that you lost these 2 games. You're still 29-9 on the season after 2 straight losses. So let's go out there and get it. I like Tampa Bay on the money line. The only thing that worries me is that that's going to be a really public play. And, you know, you hear people probably all the time on YouTube being like, I don't like betting with the public. Sometimes the public's right, which is stupid, right? It's like sometimes the public's right. Just if you fade the public, it's not always the right answer. Like sometimes the public is entirely right. But it does get a little scary because, you know, if the public was always right, then sportsbooks wouldn't be around. So that's the only concern of mine if this were to be a public play. But in terms of a total, we're looking at 8.5 runs here. I think this one actually gets up and over because I think Tampa Bay is going to score 6 to 7 runs. So I'd look at Tampa Bay's team total as well in this one. All right, next up, we have the Diamondbacks taking on the Giants. This is actually a series, I think, now it's obviously early, but I think it's a series that I'm pretty excited to dive into here. Henry on the mound for the Diamondbacks, got a 5.17 ERA, a 1-0 record. Alex Cobb on the mound, decent year, 2-1 with a 2.01 ERA. And you're looking at the Diamondbacks here at plus 120 on the road. Now, they dropped 2 straight games here against Miami, which, again, people call me crazy for liking Miami in that series. They end up winning 2 of the 3, but I do think this is a pretty good bounce back spot for Arizona. I don't think even with Cobb on the mound, now I think that is the reason, right? But I don't think even with Cobb on the mound, San Francisco should be anywhere near minus 135 or minus 140, you know, on a money line play in this one. I think this one should be a little bit closer to even, you know, even Stevens in terms of both these teams. So the fact that we're looking at a good odds here, plus 120 on the Diamondbacks, I really do like that. They have won, what was it, 5 out of the last 5. They've won, I believe, 4 of their last 8. So they're kind of splitting, or 4 of the last 7. They're kind of splitting everywhere we go here. But I don't think the San Francisco team is this powerhouse. It's like fee, fi, fo, fum. You can't beat us. It's like the Diamondbacks are at home. They have a better record. Yes, they probably don't get the pitching edge today. I get that. But I don't necessarily think that the San Francisco team is any sort of a powerhouse, nor do they deserve to be this heavy of favorites in this one. So I think that the value here is going to be on the Diamondbacks. And in terms of an over, meteorologist Ev checking in for duty. We got 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing directly out to center field. 87 degrees in Arizona today. Barely any humidity. No chance for precipitation. For betting the over, I hope that they're going to participate. So I do like over 9. I think this one gets up into the double digits. And back to you with sports, Evan. We're closing out the video with a game in which we don't have a line or a total yet. Again, we record these videos very early. The sun is just coming up now here in Boston, so yeah, it's a little tough sometimes. We don't have lines. We have Oakland taking on Texas. I don't know what the odds are going to be here, but I like 2 things. I like Texas on the run line as well as the over in this game. Texas took 2 of 3 against Seattle. They were underdogs in that entire series, and they won 2 games. They obviously came through for us yesterday, and Oakland losing 3 straight against the Yankees, who I don't think are that great of a team. They didn't even have to face Cole, for the the Yankees there either. So I do think that this is a Texas game as well as an over. I don't hate that at all. I think both these teams can put up some runs. Don't have like the best of I guess you'd call it defenses, but when they played earlier, Oakland won 5-4 in game 1 of that series. Then Texas put up an 18 spot against Oakland, 18-3, and then game 3 was 5-2 earlier in April there. So they have scored a decent amount of runs here. If this totals anywhere around, I would say 8.5, I take the over. If we're looking at like a 9.5 over, I don't take the over, but I do lean for about 9 runs to be scored in this game. And guys, that is all I have for you today in the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you're checking out our NBA playoff videos as well, and follow me on TikTok and Instagram at EvPicks with a Z at the end, and I'm doing all my player props over there on the daily. We're throwing out a bunch of player props. If you guys are missing those or you like player props, make sure to check that out. But I will catch you guys in the next video, all right? Peace out.